We start with new developments in the Drew Peterson murder trial. A judge denies the defense motion for a mistrial, meaning things are moving forward inside the Will County Courthouse. Peterson is charged with killing his third wife, Kathleen Savio. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jose Sanders.
And good morning. I'm Judy Sue. Lynn and Sylvia are off today. ABC 7's Jessica D'Onofrio is live at the Will County Courthouse with the very latest on our top story. Jessica?
Good morning, Judy and Jose. Everyone was on the edge of their seats this morning. The judge made his ruling just after 10 a.m. But before all of that happened, Drew Peterson's defense attorneys came out and made a few comments about the prosecution.
They like to get a do-over. They like to start from the beginning. They like to get a new jury and do all the things. And in order to do that, they'd have to get a mistrial without prejudice, meaning they could restart. And I think that may be what they want to do.
They already said, Judge, we're doing motions to reconsider on some of your rulings. If they get a mistrial, they get time to get him to change his mind.
Defense attorneys asked the judge for a mistrial with prejudice this morning. They argued that Peterson could not get a fair trial after a witness testified yesterday that Drew Peterson left a bullet in his driveway to intimidate him. They argued prosecutors were slipping in inadmissible character evidence unfairly without proper notice to the defense and painting Peterson as a man people should fear. They believe the bias damage to the jury was irreversible, but the judge decided after hearing arguments on both sides that he believes the defendant's ability to receive a fair trial is not extinguished at this time. As for the defense's statements about prosecutors wanting a mistrial so they can get a do-over, Will County State's Attorney James Glasgow usually doesn't comment, but he responded to that this morning.
That's absolutely false. And it's unprofessional and just the wrong tactic. The statements they make in public are wrong.
Prosecutors are seeking to prove the 58-year-old ex-Bolingbrook police sergeant killed his third wife, Kathleen Savio, in 2004. He is also a suspect in the disappearance of his fourth wife, Stacy, but he's never been charged in her case. Meanwhile, this morning, the judge instructed jurors to disregard part of the witness testimony from yesterday, just the part about the bullet. And now the trial has resumed. Right now, the prosecution is questioning an EMT, one of those EMTs who responded to Savio's home the night she was found dead in her dry bathtub. So, Judy and Jose, this case is back on track. Live at the Will County Courthouse, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC 7 News. Back to you.
Jessica, thank you so much. Well, joining us now is jury consultant and legal expert Alan Tuerkheimer.
Alan, thank you so much for joining us. So the judge's ruling, did that surprise you, not to grant a mistrial?
It takes a lot to grant a mistrial, so it really wasn't surprising. There has to be a lot of indications that the defendant's not going to get a fair trial, and the defense didn't show that that was going to happen. And it's early on in the case. It's the second time it happened, and so I think the prosecution's been warned that be careful and know what your witnesses are going to say and don't let anything get in that's inadmissible. But it's not a surprise. Judges don't want to declare mistrials.
Your impression of what's happened so far in these opening days?
Well, it's interesting. I think that each side tried to lay out a roadmap in their openings, and the witness that this whole dispute was about, he said something about a bullet being in the lawn. I don't think that's going to have a major impact. I think jurors are going to be able to move on and listen to the witnesses, and this case is really going to be about which experts are believed, because if the body was declared to have been a murder, well, who has a motive beside Drew Peterson? So these experts are really going to be important, and jurors will be able to focus on their testimony and make a decision on that.
And Alan, you have had so much experience as a jury consultant. In your experience, do jurors, are they able, when the judge says strike that particular testimony, are they able to do that in their deliberations?
It depends how closely connected it is to the big issues in this case. If somebody testified that Drew Peterson said he was going to murder Kathleen Savio, and the judge said strike that, that would be hard to forget. But this is something that's really not that connected. It has to do with Drew Peterson maybe as a person, as a neighbor, something he may have done. So that, coupled with the fact it's so early on, and a lot's going to happen between now and the end of trial, that jurors are going to be able to put that aside. And if it comes up in deliberations, one or two jurors will say, hey, we can't talk about that. That's not what we're supposed to do.
Okay. Can you make anything out of the judges, almost like a tongue lashing against the prosecution?
The judge was not happy that this witness testified about this bullet because it was ruled in advance that it's inadmissible, and basically the prosecution either, I didn't see the transcript, but either flagrantly disregarded the judge's order or just didn't have enough control of the witness. And that can't keep happening. If it keeps happening more and more, the more likelihood there will be a mistrial. But the judge thoroughly warned the prosecutor, hey, you know what, this is not fair play. Let's play by the rules and move forward.
Okay, so right now the trial just proceeds forward.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alan, for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And we will have much more on the Peterson case on our website, of course, at abc7chicago.com.
Well, we have some mixed news about Chicago city crime rate.